Okay, guys, so we're back with the Thunkable. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start building games with Thunkable. All right, so I've got a game to show you that I've created, and we're going to start with this because it's a basic example. So basically, I've made a bowling game. All right, so my little sprite here is the main sort of the bowling ball, and then what he's going to do is going to knock out the other sprites, and then they're going to be removed from the page. Okay, so he's knocked one out there. If it goes again, should be able to take some out. So there you can see I just had to do it a few times. It must have been going through the middle. So that's what we're going to create today. So the bowling ball app, and that gives you the basis then for building other games with the features that we're going to learn today. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is come onto the Thunkable website and go over to the login, okay, like we've done before. And then once you're logged in, what you want to do is go to this new create new app. Okay, so then what I'm going to type in is bowling, right, and then education. Okay, and then we'll create one of those. So that's just coming now. Okay, it's a bit slow. Okay, so here we are. Okay, I think my camera's just gone off, but that's okay, we can carry on. So what I'm going to show you first is basically the way that you get this set up. Okay, so it's a bit different from the other tasks that we've done so far. So what we're going to do here is we've got our screen, which is the main sort of part of the phone that would be showing if you were doing it on the mobile app. So then what we're going to do is create. So we need to add a canvas. So the canvas is basically going to be displayed here, and where it is, it's this down here. Okay, so if we look at that, it says the canvas component is a touch sensitive panel. Okay, and you can move images around. So that is basically what you need if you want to start building games. Okay, on with the Thunkable. So here I'm going to drag this canvas onto here. So that should show up. Now it's a very small box. Okay, so what we want to do is make sure that we can use the full length of the screen. Okay, so I'm going to drag this out and fill out the screen. So now that that's done, that is basically the overlay of a canvas, so we can start building our game. So we've got that now. What I want to show you here is we've got a canvas, and on the canvas we have a stage. Okay, so the stage is where all the actions take place. So I've got sprites there on the left hand side, and I can put lots of different sprites on. So sprites, if you've used Scratch before, it's the same kind of idea. There are characters, they can be buildings if we want, they can be structures. It's just something that we can move around and interact with. So here, when we create a sprite in Thunkable, it gives us a generic Thunkable character. So this guy in the middle. So that guy is our first sprite. So that is already made for us. So what we can do, if we go down here to the sprite class, we've got add sprite type. So I can change the type of my sprite to whatever I need it to be. So now I've created a sprite type 2. So what I can do now is have sprite 1 and sprite 2 interact with each other. Okay, so if I drag sprite 2 on, then it creates another type of sprite. So those sprites can have different functionality, different things that they do. So they could be enemies, they could be partners, and then you can do the code which I'll show you in a minute, how to control those sprites. So on the right hand here, on the right hand side, you can see sprite 1, which is our red character. Here you can select different characteristics for this sprite. So one thing you need to switch on to build the bowling game that I've showed you at the start is this draggable. So we want to be able to drag this sprite and be able to throw him like a bowling ball. So make sure you've got that draggable is on. Okay, and then the rest you can change this. That's up to you. So I've just added another sprite type, so we've got 3 now. So if you click Add Sprite Type, it gives you another one. So what you can do with the stage, so I've clicked on stage up here in the left hand side, and what you can do is change the background. So if you wanted to just have a color, so any generic color, you can just select that there. Okay, that's basically a really basic feature. If you wanted to go a bit more advanced and you knew what your game was about and you wanted to have a different background, you can upload files. So before this, I found a picture from the internet and just saved it. That's lane.jpg. Okay, so that was for the bowling. So I uploaded that, and that's basically will be added there now. So I'll show you that. So if we go to the web preview, so the web preview, remember, was up here on the right, and the link to your phone was this one. Okay, so we've got the color there. Something's going wrong with this. Let me just check. So what you need to do is click on the background, click on the image that you've uploaded, and then once you've done that, you need to press add. Okay, so you see that adds the background image that I've selected there. So whatever your game is about, so for this one, it's bowling, so that seemed like a good picture to put in the background. So now what I want to do is add some functionality to my app. I want to make the sprites do something meaningful. So what I'm going to do is click on the sprite I want to make an action for. And then if you come down here, there is an interactive section here. So you click on Add Blocks, okay, at the bottom, and then it takes us over to the blocks view. So now, this week, we have different events that can happen on the sprites because we've added those in now. So we'll look at that now. So what we want to do is when there is a collision between sprite 1 and sprite 2, then we want something to happen. So we've got this option here when sprite 1 collides with the sprite type. You can change this. Okay, so when I'm just going to make it go to sprite 1 and sprite 2. So when they collide, then something can happen here. So what I want to happen is I want the second sprite to be removed from that particular page or that phase of the game. So what I can do is go add and remove, and then remove there, put the remove into that box, and then choose sprite 1 is the red sprite, and sprite 2 is the one I want to remove, the one that it collides with. So if we go back to here, we can see that we've got sprite type 2 and sprite type 3, and sprite 2 and 3. So what I can do is go back to my blocks view, and this block of code, I can duplicate this twice, and then sprite 1 remains the main character, and I can change this here to sprite 3. Okay, I don't think I need this one. Delete that. So what I want to do is sprite 3, and then I'm deleting sprite 3. Okay, so that's the functionality to remove the sprites once they've had a collision. Okay, so that's the basics of how you build a game with a canvas, stage, and sprite in Thunkable. So I've just tested that on my phone, and that's come through. Some problems you might have with the Thunkable Live app is basically your game might not go onto the app straight away. So what you need to do, if on your phone, you need to sign out and sign back in again to Thunkable Live, and it should update. Okay, so you can press this button, and it will sync with your device if you've downloaded the app and signed in with the same email. Okay, all right. Good luck, and hope you have fun with this. You can design lots of different things on top of this. So this is just the basic example, and what you can go on to do is create different functionalities for your game. You can add more code in there and get the sprites to do different things. So that's the aim. Hopefully you can have some fun. Okay, good job.